Give us the goods.
Well, gratitude is has been around since the beginning of people to be to feel gratitude and to give gratitude, give thanks, and be genuine, to be genuinely thankful and happy uh, about what's in your life or what just came in your life or what somebody just did uh, or to thank the the bigger powers of our world, like the earth, mother earth, or the sky, the weather, the whole atmosphere, or the sun, and to give gratitude to the cosmos, the sky, the, our whole galaxy, and whatever else is out there. And people have been doing it in their own ways, their own understanding for millennia. Just um, it's been very important and very highly, highly regarded and passed down carefully from generation to generation, making sure the next generation knows about this and feels this and practices this. They felt it was just so very, very important. And they do things like we do, we still do right up to this day. Uh, Getting up with the sun, and for most of our ancient ancestors, they couldn't help but to get up with the sun because it just brightens everything and wakes everybody up, and so there you are. But they would try to get up a little before the sun and be out there to watch the sun rise, to see it come over the horizon, and give this heartfelt, whole body felt gratitude. Thank you, son. Thank you, son. Thank you for your beauty. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the light. Thank you for the heat. Thank you for the nourishment, for helping the plants and animals grow and to nourish us and keep us healthy, and on and on and on. And they have their whole little ceremonies uh, that go with the sunrise, uh, thanking everybody and everything, everything that they could think of, and every instance that has meant something to them, especially in current moments of time, something that they have heavy on their mind, and they can't help but to notice that it really it helps bring really nice things into their life. They they couldn't help but to notice that, and it does. It helps manifest things. And this is a it's not so easy for modern culture people to understand this because it doesn't follow any of the sciences that we know. But this is the way the ancients talk about these factors, how the universe really works in this respect. And that is when you are thinking something, you're thinking about, oh, the sunlight and it's warm and it heals us and it's making food for us with the plants, and the animals eat the plants and we're eating the animals, and uh, it helps make the weather, uh, and they're feeling it. They're feeling it with their emotions, with the love and the excitement of, uh, yeah, the sun comes up and it's all warm. It's bringing this incredible warmth with it, and with all these other things that they give thanks for as well. I mean, nowadays we know that the sun's probably going to be coming up on a pretty regular basis. We don't have too many reasons to think that our planet's going to do something really, really weird, that the sun wouldn't be coming up. But all these different things in people's lives that they're giving thanks for, all the everyday kind of things, that the family is healthy and the family is getting along, and maybe the tribe is getting along, or the community, and there's love there, and there's sharing, and all these beautiful things, and they give thanks for it. And what they see and what their elders tell them, the shamans told them, is that this is how the universe hears us. It understands this language, that we are feeling this beautiful day. I've got a refrigerator full of food, and we've had beautiful breakfast, and we're going to have a beautiful dinner, and I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you are feeling the love of it, you're feeling the actual presence of the food is there. It's not going to go run away. It's already in the fridge. It's a done deal. And everybody's been happy, and everybody's been getting along, and they're giving thanks for that. The universe feels this. It feels it, it hears it, and it knows, because of the feeling that's with it, you're living this action that you're giving thanks for. You're feeling the results of it. This is what the universe understands. It feels this. And the message that the universe gets is that I love this. I want more of this. And so that's how it ends up manifesting. And I'll give a little story with that, because we are manifesting all the time, 24 hours a day, whether we know it or like it or not. And we can't really stop from doing that. We're manifesting the world around us, the circumstances around us. We're contributing to the greater, bigger picture, like our entire culture, humanity on the planet. We're contributing to the creation of that and what it's doing today. So if everybody was thankful, truly feeling the love and the thanks, and feeling what it is they want to see, they're feeling the peace as though it has already happened. Taking into consideration, we got a little bit of war going on over here, and there's some over there, and there's a conflict happening over there. But if everybody was feeling the gratitude, they were feeling the peace as though it had already happened, the universe picks that up. And that's what the people want. That's what the people on this planet want. They want that peace, and the universe helps bring it about in all kinds of different mysterious ways that it communicates with us. The whole universe is communicating with us all the time and gives us information, can bring us peace and harmony, more love. There's a story that's been passed around, and I don't know where it started and who actually said it first, but we call it the muddy feet story. And it's about a white guy up in the mountains, and his best friend, his good friend, is an Indian, lives nearby, and there's a tribal reservation there, and that's where the Indian lives. And he's been working with his elders, and the elders have been teaching him about how to make rain. There's been a terrible drought, long, terrible drought. The elders have been teaching him about how to do this, and they give him the instructions. We want you to go way high in the mountains to the sacred spot. There's a sacred circle of rocks, an altar there. You step in the altar and you do this process. You do this prayer. And then you step out and you're done. You go do your thing for the rest of the day. And apparently he got permission to take the white guy with him because he did. And they had fun. They, taken off into the tules, and they got to the place they had to walk up more to get farther up there to get to the sacred spot. And they're standing outside the circle. The Indian said, "Stand here. Don't go in the circle. Don't say anything." And he takes his shoes and socks off. He steps in the circle, and he has his eyes closed and maybe doing something with his hands. He's only in there for a few minutes. And he steps back out, and he picks up his socks and shoes, says to the white guy, "Okay, let's go. Want a hamburger? Are you hungry? Let's go. Let's go to our favorite place." And in Taos, or wherever it was, in the mountains. And the white guy's all shocked. It's like, we were going to do a ceremony. I came here for a ceremony, and there's no ceremony, and we're leaving already. We only just got here. And what's happened? What happened? And he said, "What did you do when you went in that circle?" And the Indian says, "Well, these are the instructions. That I give gratitude for the rain, and I feel the rain. I have to feel it. I have to smell it. I have to taste it. I have to feel the mud on my feet, rain dripping all over my body." And it says, I placed myself in the pueblo, and right outside my house, which is adobe pueblo, and I could touch the rain on the wall, and there's a certain smell that the rain makes when it hits the wall or the ground there in the pueblo. It's just this perfect smell. And outside the pueblo, there's all this sage, and it gets wet, and that dirt under it gets wet, and there's this incredible smell that happens. And he's smelled it, he felt it, he felt the mud on his feet and his hair dripping wet, and the rain blowing on him, and he felt perfect gratitude, just perfect. Thank you for the rain, thank you for the rain. And that was it. He stepped out. And in doing that, he's not praying like a typical white modern American Christian kind of person that we're used to, that we've grown up as, or we have around us. Our prayer would be to get down on our knees, probably, and, "Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. It's been such a terrible drought. It's been a horrible drought on everybody, and my crops are dying, and I can't keep the animals alive. I had to slaughter the animals. Please, we need the rain. We have to have it. It hasn't been here for so long. Please, God, please give us the rain." And he said, when you do that, you're praying for the continuation of the drought. and the hardship it brings. That's what the universe hears and feels, because that's what you're feeling. The person praying in that Christian way is talking to themselves and to God all about, I'm in this hardship. I'm in this hardship. This is horrible. This is a terrible drought. We're losing everything. Please give us rain. We need to have rain. We must have rain. He's believing that he doesn't have any rain and water, and he doesn't have any crops, and he doesn't have any animals, and it's all gone, and probably still will be gone. He believes that, and that's the message that the universe picks up. But in the ceremony that they did, what the Indian guy did, was picture and feel with great love and great gratitude that it was already happening. The drought is broken. It's rain. The rain is here, and I can smell it, and I can feel it, and I can taste it. And my face is wet, and my hair is wet, and my house is wet on the outside, and my feet are muddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this water. So the guys go back, they get their hamburger, they go to the Sloppy Joe house, whatever that was, and they get their hamburger, and these big clouds start forming outside, and they're right at the window, and they can see it, and they're kind of watching, and then it's starting to lightning and rain, and then rain more and more and more and more. And then they went home, and after a while, the streets are flooding, the gutters are overflowing, and so the white guy's getting a little worried and confused, and he calls the Indian guy up and asks him, "Why is it doing this? Why this isn't quite what we were hoping for." And the Indian said, "They've taught me how to start the rain, to call it, but they couldn't tell me how to stop it." And those are the words that I heard. We could, take our inference in whatever way. What does that mean? The elders didn't know how to stop it, or how to tell him to stop it, or they didn't want to tell him to stop it, or is the knowledge lost and the elders just don't even have it at all? That seems a little odd. But it did. It just kept raining for a couple of weeks like that, and flooding everything, and then it dwindled off on its own. So that's a little note on the end of the story to be careful what it is you're picturing and you're praying for, and that you put the appropriateness into the picture, appropriate for the place and times, etc., etc. So and it really works. It really works. We were outside actually doing our gratitude ceremony for the sunrise, and there was some neighbors screaming at each other. They'd never done this before. We'd never heard anything like that. We've been here a long time. But they're screaming, and they're going on and on and on, top of their lungs. And in the backyard dips off, and into a gully, and then it rises up on the other side. So the sound can carry pretty well, pretty loudly. And as I was doing my different thank yous, the thought occurred to me, oh, I should be thankful for peace and quiet. so, so I thought I would give it a try. And I did. And I felt the quiet and the peace. And I hurt it to the point of not being able to hear their voices anymore and being very grateful. Thank you so much for the peace and the quiet. Thank you so much for all this peacefulness, and that the neighbors have peacefulness and we have peacefulness, and there's peace and love. And thank you for all this peace and quiet and everything that goes with that. And then they stopped yelling. They just stopped. And I could name a whole bunch of stories like that, but those are one that I've heard that has been told around, and the one that happened to me right here during the actual gratitude ceremony. So the universe doesn't, it isn't just a dead blank space full of rocks, and some of those rocks glow. It's alive, and it's conscious and thinking and feeling and knowing, and it knows everything. It hears everything, all the thoughts, all the words, all the sounds, all whatever feelings you have. The universe feels this whole, what we think of as this, empty space out there, or empty space full of oxygen and air here on Earth. It's so much more than that. And we're interacting with it on a very intimate level. And it knows and understands, but it does have its own way of language, of communicating, especially with something like manifesting. If say you've had a really bad hair day, just bad. All the wrong things have happened. Terrible things happen to your mail, and so you're not getting your mail, and your computer died, and the dog barked at this, bites this other dog, and the neighbor's dog as it went down the street, and it's one thing after another. The refrigerator broke, and on and on. And if we let that tie us up in a knot and just send us in spiraling into a frenzy of frustration and anger and maybe even hatred or fear, any of the negative emotions, that's a prayer. We're sending that prayer out. We're telling the universe, oh, please make some more of this catastrophe for me. This is what we need. We're everything we think and feel all day long, all night long is a prayer. Literally, it's a prayer and a request to the universe. The universe is intensely alive and conscious and ready to help you with anything. But if you're in a snit and you're bitching about the whole snit, you're going round and round and round and round and down, farther, and everything is making you more angry and more upset, more sad, and more fearful. And it's all a prayer asking for more of that. And so that's why the ancients say, live with gratitude. Yeah, things broke, and your neighbors have a really big bet bill coming up that they're going to try to tap you for. That's okay. It has to be okay. It has to be okay. And you can, feel sorry or, for the dog or the human. Dog's human. But this spiraling down of poor me, poor me, poor me. And I'm a victim, and I'm wrong, and I did this wrong, and should have checked that fridge. I should have checked it. Well, how do you know to check a fridge? When do you check a fridge? Who checks the fridge? Who knows? Who knows what to look for? Do you hire somebody to do that? We need to be realistic about what's in our lives and deal with things as they come, even though it might mean a whole lot of work, a big interruption, might mean a bunch of money, maybe not. But if you could find things to be grateful for in the middle of that and change the whole energy level, change the flavor of the energy so that you don't keep spiraling down and more things don't keep going wrong. And if you find some other way to look at them, like, well, that was unfortunate that happened that way, but maybe it's an opportunity too. Maybe it's an opportunity to get something else going or fix something or change the way I'm thinking or feeling or taking action about something, the way I do my business. There's always an opportunity. There's always a good side. There's always some reason to be thankful. And even though the fridge and the dog and all these other things that you have to take care of, maybe there's something else over here that, wow, this beautiful thing just came in the mail that you weren't expecting. A big gift from somebody that you could be thankful for, or just a beautiful smile from somebody. Maybe you had to go to the store and you're crossing paths with all these people, and maybe this beautiful, loving smile from a stranger, you can be grateful for that. You could accept that love, that beauty of the moment, and it can change everything. So, my friends, what words do you have?
My first thought is I'm a work in progress. you ever created something, whether it's a piece of art or maybe you're cooking a meal and you get it all done and it just tastes great. It's just so wonderful. And you have all that pride and say, look what I did. Look what I created here. And then when you have those meals where you created something that's burnt and doesn't taste very good. But I created that too. And we create all the time. And like you were saying about, how you put your attention to something can make more of that same thing. I almost, when you were talking about that, I thought this, when you're making a snowman, you just roll the snow up and it's catching all this stuff and it's getting bigger and bigger. And, when we take responsibility for what we're creating, it can turn out all beautiful. But no matter what it turns out, we're the creators. We've created it, and that's some responsibility and appreciation. When you start doing appreciation, it's just that changes the energy to a positive one. You're always teaching us, look for signatures, and there's a signature in just everything that's around you. And we've been studying that and feeling for that signature, but it's that essential thread of love that goes through everything. And it's that acknowledgement that we're all connected. You know, when you start to really feel the signatures, you realize that we're all connected. And if we're all connected, when you're saying gratitudes for the sun and you're saying gratitudes for the earth and the water, and you're putting out that love energy and that healing energy. And we learned that in the weavings as well.
Yeah. I think what I love, and I heard, well, so much. I took tons of notes. But the ease. There's practice. You know, we practice ourselves into worry and guilt. You know, those are habits we've practiced ourselves into, you know, this guilty gratitude, you know, that I is, again, you know, good Southern family, or at least one half, you know, but it was like, and you know how you talked about the prayer that, you know, I was raised on really humbling yourself, you know, getting down on your knees and begging and saying, you know, basically that was the form of prayer. I'm not worthy, you know, and through these practices, you know, and the signature work, like Lora said, you start understanding what you're bringing to yourself by emoting, carrying that energy. And, you know, in even in gratitude, one of the things, and I wrote down is, and I have a question around it, is like rejecting gratitude. Like my family, you know, you say thank you and they say, oh, no, it's no problem. I'm just like, it's suddenly hitting me. It's like, oh, that's so not good, you know. But we can get back to that. But what hearing this conversation, and even you realize we are constantly manifesting, and if we can redirect our focus, how easy it is to bring our life into what we want, and how easy it would be to live in a world we want, how easy it would be able to, you know, correct this planet, how easy it would be to stop wars, you know, stop harming ourselves and everybody else. It's right there. It's right there. And and you know, anybody who is listening, you know, I would encourage them, try it. Just try it. You know, experience it, give it a little try, you know, for something small. And then, like, because we've had direct experience with moving mountains. That seems impossible. I use the gratitude ceremony with family members. We have some challenging, or have had some challenging stuff with specific family members not getting along with each other. And I've walked out, you know, in the morning and say, thank you. And I see these two people getting along. Thank you for them understanding each other. Thank you for them just seeing from each other's perspective and putting away this anger. And I just see them, I visualize them having this conversation, you know, and I walk back in and we get a text message that those two are going to lunch. I mean, it was that quick. My mother-in-law has a grumpy bone. And sometimes it's exhausting. And so my new thing is, before we get in the car to go pick her up, she's almost 90, and take her somewhere, I'm like, thank you for seeing the world in a better light. Thank you for not being negative and having a positive conversation. And I even gave examples. And one of the examples, I said it was a full moon. coming up. And I said, like, how beautiful the moon is tonight. And I said, think for other things. And we pick her up and we're driving her to my sister-in-law's house. And she was like, isn't it lovely this evening? Isn't it fantastic this evening? And she goes, and look at that moon. And when she said, look at how beautiful that moon is, I about my jaw dropped. I'm like, it was almost quote to quote. And, when you come in, shift yourself first. That's one of those good, better, best nuances I've learned from you, Kay, is like, you got to be in a good spot. Do it anyways, be good, but the better you're in, the more gratitude you are in, all of your energy is doing a better job. And that's the practice.
That is a practice.
Yeah.
But, I've had plenty of opportunities to choose to be unhappy. But what I've noticed is that if I can bring in appreciation and gratitude, it kind of goes hand in hand with trust. So no matter what comes in front of you is in your path, it's there to help you awaken in some way, to help you to let go of the no-nos, the belief, the judgments and the blind beliefs and all of those things. It helps you let go of those because you're trusting whatever's coming up in your experience.
I got this.
Yeah, I got this. And that's one of my things that I tell Lora I do all the time. It just keeps coming. and I can feel that. And it does. It just keeps coming. But when things come in your into your experience, and your perspective might be automatically to jump to, oh, this is bad. If you have the appreciation and gratitude and knowing that the universe is taking care of you and lining stuff up, even the burnt meal is an experience where you can choose appreciation and gratitude for, I manifested this, I created this, and you don't have to be unhappy about it. And then happiness just seems to keep coming because it just keeps coming.
I think one of the most significant things that somewhere along the way I started believing is there's no glass ceiling on happiness. Like one of the mottos we grew up with is what goes up must come down. and so you kept waiting for the shoe to drop. Like, is it today? Is it tomorrow? Because it's going to happen. This run of luck is going to run out. It doesn't have to. And I think that's, what I tell some people is like, there's no glass ceiling on happiness. If you bump your head, is like you hit something, it's time. You don't have to go down. You can go left or right, go around it and go back up. And that deep dish of happiness is like, you're also, here's the other thing I learned. That was one. Number two, you're not stealing somebody else's happiness to be happy. That was like, well, there's only, 100 slices of happiness in the universe. And if I take 99, someone's only going to get one. It was like, that's how it's divvied out. My happiness is costing somebody else. Well, that's bullshit. Learn that. It was like, no, until you just give it a try. If I could tell anybody anything, just give it a try. Because that's what I've learned is the more I just tried, it was like I got direct experience and proof that gratitude changes everything.
And it's about habits of thinking. If you're in the habit of gratitude and appreciation,
you might need to keep
it's
trying.
A lot different. It's a lot different than being in the gratitude, or not the gratitude, but the mindset of just kind of picking stuff out. Like, oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. No, it's a completely different experience.
So maybe my mom was right. Count your blessings.
Of course, your mom was right.
Yeah. I don't know where we're at time, Helmut. Did you have comments?
No, I'm good. I'm just listening and observing, and the essential elements for it. Kay touched on it. Kay, would you mute yourself? and really with the story of the muddy feet, it's about the feeling aspect in the gratitude, like with everything else, but really being able to not just see it, but to feel it as a reality. And so many of the people in our modern world hold so many things as a reality and they feel very strongly about it, but it's not necessarily what they want in their lives. Yet, with doing that, they create more of it. So it requires a huge shift from where is our attention, where is our mind, where are our feelings, where is our heart, and that's what creates our reality, our present, and our future. And I think as a people, we need to start learning to pay attention to all that.
Contributing to creation of the universe all the time, Kay said.
Yeah.
And that's all the time. All of us. We're each doing it every single moment.
We create all the time. I want something out of the fridge. I have that desire. I want something out of the fridge. I get up and go get it. I've created that experience. Well, do we look at it that way?
No.
I mean, how many people
That was
really
great.
look at it
That's why
that
I was
way?
laughing. I'm like, that's so yeah. But really, it's we're, many of us, not all of us, were raised to think that we're small and insignificant. And so a lot of these things that you're sharing, will, kind of rattle some people's cages. That somebody who, is a president of the country has as much power as you do, or you have as much power, as they do, to influence the outcome of this planet and everything in this universe with your thoughts alone.
The thoughts and the feelings together. The feelings are more important than the thoughts. And that's the thing with the manifesting the rain, with the muddy feet, is that you have to feel everything as though it had already happened. It's already here. It's already happened. Very often they finish these kinds of prayers, whether it's a gratitude prayer, a prayer about the rain, a prayer about healing somebody, giving them a healing session. At the end of the healing session, they say different people say different kinds of things, but something like, it's done, it's done, it's done, 3, maybe 4 times. Or it's healed, it's healed, it's healed. It's raining, it's raining, it's raining. It's already here. We have to experience it that way. That's why when we get into a snit about whatever, we're feeling everything's wrong. It's going wrong. It's wrong inside and outside, and it hurts, and it's here right now, and it looks like it's going to keep coming. Looks like it's going to get worse. They're manifesting that. The feeling has to be there. We've been in a culture that has denied feeling, poo-pooed feeling. That started way back, thousands of years. There's a certain line of Greek thinking that's praising the intellectual thought and being able to intellectually solve issues and problems and figure out how things run. And it started before that too, but it's a schism. It's a disconnect. It's a way that we pretend that we are disconnected from everything. And we turn off our viewer to just how connected we are to everything, how intensely, profoundly, intimately connected we are to everything. A lot of people use the phrase for that, we are one, which is in English is not accurate enough. It's misleading. We're not one single blob. The creator and all of us people. We're not one single blob. This creation has created all of us to share the experiences with each other and with all of creation. The feeling part is far more important than the linear thinking part. And we've been learning how to do that in our culture, that is highly, highly prized. Feeling in any kind of way is not prized and often condemned or criticized or made fun of. And that's where the goods are. It's in the feeling, it's in the emotions, and in the other kinds of feelings that we have. The physical sensations are all feelings. We have spiritual sensations, as well as the emotional, as well as thinking linearly. There's far more feeling things about us than there are linear thinking. Linear thinking is just a tool. It's just one little piece of us, a tool. And we've been trained to let it think that it is the king of the hill, the ruler, the rooster that prances around everywhere and squeals and squawks. Look how great I am. To learn how to make the linear thinking a tool again, not the boss. That's really important. And if your linear thinking is the boss and won't let anything else happen, you're going to have a hard time controlling this manifesting. Because it's all about the feeling of it, the imagination and the feeling of it. Whole body, whole heart, whole spirit feeling. And when you do this gratitude ceremony and you have the feeling that's already happened, you're moving through time. You're putting your message out through time and outside of time. And that's a really big teaching in all the spiritual teachings. That, the big stuff all happens outside of 3D time space. Is not controlled by our 3 dimensions or time or space, happens instantaneously, or can literally move outside of time. And that's where the goods are. It's in the feeling. The feeling does that. You can't think your way outside of time space.
What a great line. It takes some work to do that, to get there, from our mind controlling everything and then realizing it's just a tool.
It can be a very useful tool,
Oh, yeah.
but it's just the tool. Tool is a helper. The feelings, all of them, that's where the goods are.
Okay. I have a couple of things. Thank you, everybody. We very likely going to start up our gratitude ceremonies again, now that our heavy teaching load is lightening up a little bit. So we tell you about when that's going to start again, probably in a couple of weeks. We're having some echo problems. Oh, I wanted to show that. This is the website where you can sign up for our gratitude ceremony. It's katase.world/gratitude. And we have a couple of comments that I thought we could just bring in for a minute and check on it, because they're really nice comments. From Mary, this is about, I probably should read that for somebody who doesn't watch the video. Okay, I hadn't seen my emotional and imaginative ideas as a request, as an order to what I choose to get. Wow, what great teaching example, Lora. Thank you. And that's it. That's what we all do all the time. It's beautiful. Thank you. And then Meredith, holding myself back from banging on the table and screaming, yes, this is our magic, or a tiny piece of it. Grateful for the four of you for doing this topic. Thanks, Meredith. And this is another one from actually Polly. I can hardly wait to run next door and tell my neighbor's 9 and 14-year-old kids and to rewatch this talk over and over. This is right on time for me. Thank you. All right. Any other thoughts to that?
It's right on time for this planet.
That's for sure.
Well, it's on time for the weaving ceremony too, because the weaving ceremony is total gratitude time. So we do healing techniques, but that's combined with this whole gratitude feeling, seeing everything, feeling everything as if it has already happened. And this is the weaving on the whole web of life of the planet Earth, which includes the humans and the animals and the plants and the rocks, the dirt and the sand and the bugs and the microbes and everybody. And sometimes it kind of extends out farther than that in our conscious awareness. But because we are all connected, it goes out. It goes out farther than just our planet. But we're concentrating on our planet and healing what's going on here. We got a lot of things to heal. We got a lot of pollution and garbage to heal, and we got attitudes to heal, and thought forms with attitudes to heal.
Okay. I think we should do the entire next talk about that because we are almost at an hour again.
I
And
think that's great.
we do
Connected.
gratitude aspect of weavings and all this stuff next week. Sound good?
Sounds perfect.
All right. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us live, guys.
Thank you, Lora and Lora, and Helmut.
And we see you next week for the weaving and the gratitude talk. Can't wait. Thank you so much. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all who listen, who watch. Love you.
Thanks for chiming in.
Love you bunches. Bye-bye.